My girlfriend snapped, "Stop siding with people like them. It's embarrassing." The room went still. I looked at her. Understood. I stepped away without a word. When I returned, the conversation had already shifted, and she wasn't prepared for who was standing there. I'm 33, been with my girlfriend for about a year and a half. We met at a work conference, different companies, but same industry. She's in marketing, I do project management for a nonprofit that helps immigrant families get established in the community. It's not glamorous work, doesn't pay great, but it matters to me. My parents came here when I was 5 with basically nothing, so this work feels personal. She knew what I did when we started dating. Never seemed like an issue. We'd talk about our days, she'd tell me about campaigns and clients. I'd tell her about families we were helping, paperwork nightmares with immigration services, fundraising struggles. She'd nod along, seem interested enough. About 6 months in, I noticed small comments. Nothing major, just little things. "Don't you ever want to work somewhere that pays better?" Or, "It's nice that you care, but you can't save everyone." I'd brush it off, figured she was just being practical. Then her friends started making comments too. We'd be at dinners or parties, someone would ask what I do, and before I could finish explaining, one of her friends would jump in with something like, "He's basically a social worker," in this tone that made it sound like I cleaned sewers for a living. My girlfriend would laugh along, never corrected them, never defended what I did. Last month, things escalated. We were at her company's holiday party, fancy venue downtown, open bar, the whole deal. I was talking with this couple I'd just met, nice people, asked what I did. I explained about the nonprofit, the immigrant services. The guy's face lit up. "No kidding? My parents came here from another country back in the 80s. Organizations like yours helped them get on their feet. That's incredible work, man." We started swapping stories, his parents' journey, some of the families I'd worked with recently. His wife joined in, asking thoughtful questions about the challenges, the victories. It was actually a great conversation, the kind that reminds you why you do this work in the first place. My girlfriend appeared next to me, touched my arm. "Can I talk to you for a second?" "Sure, just a minute." "Now." I excused myself, followed her to a quieter corner near the coat check. "What's wrong?" I asked. "You need to stop." "Stop what?" "Talking about your job like that. It's embarrassing." I stared at her. "Embarrassing?" "These are my colleagues. My boss is here, and you're going on and on about immigrants and refugees and all that political stuff." "It's not political. It's humanitarian work." "Same thing. And it makes me look bad." "How does my job make you look bad?" She glanced around, lowered her voice. "Because everyone here is successful, making real money, doing important work in business. And my boyfriend is talking about helping illegals. Don't call them that. Whatever. You know what I mean. It's just not the image I need right now. I'm up for a promotion, and appearances matter." "So what? I'm supposed to lie about what I do?" "Just downplay it. Say you work in project management and leave it at that." I took a breath, tried to stay calm. "I'm proud of what I do. I'm not going to hide it." "I'm not asking you to hide it. Just be strategic about how you present it." "Strategic." "Yes, read the room. These people don't care about your charity work." The couple I was talking to seemed pretty interested. "Because they're being polite. Trust me, behind your back they're probably thinking you're some bleeding heart who couldn't make it in the real world. That stung more than it should have." "Is that what you think?" "I think you're smart enough to do better, but you choose to stay in a job that barely pays rent because you want to feel like a hero. That's not why I do it." "Isn't it? Come on. You love telling people you help refugees. Makes you feel morally superior." "I've never said that." "You don't have to say it. It's obvious." We stood there for a second. The party continued around us, people laughing, glasses clinking. "I'm going to go back to that conversation," I said finally. "Seriously? After what I just said?" "Yeah, they were nice people, and we were having a good talk." "Fine, but don't come crying to me when you embarrass yourself. I walked back to the couple. They'd been joined by another person, a woman around my age who'd apparently overheard part of our previous conversation and wanted to ask about volunteer opportunities with the nonprofit. We talked for another 20 minutes. My girlfriend stood across the room with her work friends, shooting me looks that could have melted steel. I ignored them. When we got in the car to leave, she was silent. Fuming, but silent. We drove halfway home before she finally spoke. I can't believe you did that. Did what? Had a conversation? Ignored what I asked you to do. Made me look like an idiot in front of my colleagues. I didn't make you look like anything. I was talking about my job. Stop siding with people like them. It's embarrassing. The car went quiet. I kept my eyes on the road, hands tight on the steering wheel. People like them, I repeated. You know what I mean. No, explain it to me. People who are always playing the victim, expecting handouts, coming here and taking advantage of our system. I pulled over, just stopped the car on the side of the road, put it in park. Get out, I said. What? Get out of my car. Are you insane? We're 20 minutes from home. I don't care. Get out. I'm not getting out. Then sit there quietly until we get home, because I don't want to hear your voice right now. She crossed her arms, stared out the window. We drove the rest of the way in silence. Update 1. I dropped her off at her apartment. Didn't go inside, didn't say goodnight. Just waited until she got to her door, and then drove home. She texted me about an hour later. I think you overreacted. I didn't respond. Can we talk about this like adults? Still didn't respond. Fine. Call me when you're ready to apologize. I blocked her number. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls from her, all from a different number. A bunch of texts, too, ranging from angry, "You're acting like a child," to manipulative, "I can't believe you're throwing away our relationship over one argument," to straight-up gaslighting. "I never said anything wrong, you're twisting my words." I didn't respond to any of them. Went to work, had a regular day. We were helping a family from the Middle East navigate the school enrollment process for their kids, setting them up with English classes, connecting them with community resources. The mom cried when we told her we'd found her a job interview at a local bakery. The dad shook my hand about 15 times. Days like that remind me why I do this work, why it matters, why I'll never be ashamed of it. That evening, my girlfriend showed up at my apartment. I'd been half expecting it, but it still caught me off guard when I heard the knock. "We need to talk," she said when I opened the door. "I don't think there's anything to talk about." Really? You're just going to end things because I made one comment you didn't like? It wasn't one comment. It's been months of you and your friends disrespecting what I do. But calling the people I help people like them in that tone? That was the final straw. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. And you know what? I don't think you're a bad person. I think you've been surrounded by people who've convinced you that success is only measured in salary and status. But I can't be with someone who looks down on the most vulnerable people in our society. I don't look down on them. You called them illegals. You said they were playing victim and taking advantage. Those aren't neutral statements. Those are judgments. She shifted her weight, looked uncomfortable. Maybe I phrased it badly. You phrased it honestly. That's what you actually think. And that's fine, you're entitled to your opinions, but I can't date someone whose values are fundamentally opposed to mine. So that's it? We're done? Yeah, we're done. She stood there for another moment, like she was waiting for me to change my mind. When I didn't, she turned and left. I felt surprisingly okay about it. Not happy, not relieved exactly, but at peace with the decision. Update 2. 3 days later, her best friend called me. I'd met her a few times, always got a weird vibe from her, but tried to be polite. "You really hurt her, you know," she started. "I'm sorry she's upset, but we weren't compatible." Because she made one comment? That's pretty dramatic. It wasn't one comment. And even if it was, it revealed something about her character that I can't overlook. Her character? She's one of the most generous people I know. Generous to people like you, maybe. But she showed no compassion for the people I work with. Called them embarrassing. That tells me everything I need to know. You're taking this way too seriously. She was just venting, trying to help you understand how things look in her professional world. I understand perfectly. Her professional world values appearance over substance, money over humanity. I don't want to be part of that world. Wow. Judgmental much? I'm stating facts based on what she said and how her friends act. If that sounds judgmental, maybe look at why. She hung up on me. 2 days after that, I got a text from my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, from yet another number. I'm at a dinner downtown. Can you please come? I need to talk to you. No. Please, it's important. Just 30 minutes. No. I'm with my parents. They want to meet you. That was new. She'd mentioned her parents before, but we'd never met. According to her, they lived a few hours away, didn't visit often. Why would I meet your parents when we're broken up? Because I didn't tell them we broke up. They're only in town for tonight. Please, I'll explain everything. Just come. Against my better judgment, I went, told myself I'd stay for one drink, be polite to her parents, and leave. The restaurant was one of those upscale places with dim lighting and small portions. Found her at a table near the back with 2 people I assumed were her parents. There he is! She stood up, hugged me like nothing was wrong. I didn't hug back. Her dad stood, shook my hand, firm grip, friendly smile. Good to finally meet you. We've heard so much about you. Her mom waved me into a seat. Sit, sit. We just ordered appetizers. I sat, glanced at my ex. She avoided eye contact. So, her dad started. She tells us you work with a non-profit? That's wonderful. What kind of work? Before I could answer, my ex jumped in. Project management, mostly. Pretty standard stuff. I looked at her. She looked at her menu. Actually, I said, turning back to her dad, I work with immigrant and refugee families, help them navigate the system, find resources, get established in the community. Her mom's face lit up. Really? That's incredible. We need more people doing that kind of work. My ex's face went pale. My mother came here from another country when she was 15. Her dad continued. Didn't speak English, had nothing. A community organization helped her family get on their feet, changed her entire life, changed my life by extension. I felt something click into place. Your grandmother was an immigrant? Still is, her mom said with a laugh. She's coming to visit next week, actually. Lives about an hour from here now. Refuses to move any closer because she likes her garden. I looked at my ex. She was staring at her plate, face flushed. That's amazing, I said. I'd love to hear more about her story. Her dad launched into it. His mother, my ex's grandmother, had come over at 15 with her parents and 3 siblings. They'd lived in a tiny apartment with another family, worked factory jobs, saved every penny. A local nonprofit helped them navigate citizenship, find better housing, get the kids into school. Without that organization, I don't know where we'd be, her dad said. My mother always told us to remember where we came from, to help others the way we were helped. That's why we donate to immigrant services every year. My ex's face went from flushed to pale. She excused herself to the bathroom. Update 3. The conversation continued, her parents asking genuine questions about the work, sharing their family's story, expressing admiration for what I did. My ex came back from the bathroom looking like she'd been crying but was trying to hide it. About 20 minutes in, an older woman approached our table, small, elegant, with sharp eyes and a warm smile. I thought that was you, she said to my ex's parents. Turned out she was the restaurant owner, had known the family for years. They did introductions. When she got to me and heard what I did, her whole demeanor changed. Come with me for a moment, she said. I want you to meet someone. I followed her to a table near the front where a young couple was eating dinner. She introduced me, explained what I did, and the woman's eyes welled up immediately. We've been trying to figure out how to navigate the immigration process, she said, in accented English. We have applications, but we don't understand the paperwork. I spent 10 minutes at their table, explaining the basics, writing down our organization's contact information, giving them names of people who could help. They were so grateful, kept thanking me, asking questions. The husband asked if I had a card, said he wanted to make a donation to the non-profit when he got his first paycheck from his new job. The restaurant owner watched with this satisfied smile, like she'd just witnessed something important. When I got back to our table, my ex looked miserable. Her parents were beaming. "That was kind of you," her dad said, "taking time out of your evening to help strangers." "It's what I do," I said simply. Her mom reached across the table, squeezed my hand. "You're doing exactly what our family experienced, paying forward the kindness we received. That's beautiful." My ex was silent, picking at her food. We finished dinner. Her parents paid, insisted, walked out together, said goodbye on the sidewalk. "We should do this again," her mom said, hugging me. "You're exactly the kind of person we hoped she'd end up with." Her dad shook my hand, held it a moment longer than necessary. "Seriously, our family knows the value of what you do. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like it's not important." After they left, my ex and I stood there alone. The city noise filled the silence between us. "I can't believe you did that," she said quietly. "Did what?" "Told them what you really do. I asked you to just say project management." "Why would I lie to your parents?" "Because they didn't need to know. They're immigrants, or your grandmother is. How did you not tell me this?" "Because it's not relevant." "Not relevant? Your grandmother went through exactly what the people I help are going through. Your dad grew up with that story. And you're embarrassed by people like them?" She looked at the ground. "People like them," I repeated. "You were talking about people like your own grandmother." "That was different. She came here legally. So do most of the people we help. And even if they didn't, they're still human beings deserving of dignity and respect." "You're twisting everything." "I'm seeing everything clearly for the first time. You're ashamed of your own family's history. That's why you never told me. That's why you tried to hide what I do from your parents. You're so desperate to fit in with your rich friends that you've rejected where you came from. That's not fair. It's completely fair, and it's sad. Your parents are proud of their story. They're proud of what I do because it reminds them of the help their family received. But you just want to pretend that part of your history doesn't exist." She started crying. "I just wanted things to be easier." "Easier for who?" "For us. I didn't want you to be judged. I didn't want to be judged." "By who? Your shallow friends who measure worth in paychecks? You don't understand the pressure. I understand perfectly. And I'm telling you right now, if you can't be proud of where you come from and you can't respect people who dedicate their lives to helping others, then you need to do some serious soul-searching." I started to walk away, then turned back. "Your parents are good people. Your grandmother sounds incredible. It's a shame you can't see the value in what they represent." I left her standing there on the sidewalk. Update 4. The next day, her mom called me. Don't know how she got my number, probably from her daughter's phone at some point, but I answered. "I wanted to apologize," she said immediately. "For what?" "For my daughter's behavior. Her father and I talked last night after you left, and we realized she's been hiding things from us. Hiding you, hiding what you do, probably hiding her own feelings about our family." "You don't need to apologize." "I do. We raised her better than this. When I heard what you do, I was so happy. Thought she'd finally found someone who understood the value of helping others, someone who had values that aligned with how we raised her. But apparently, she's been treating you poorly because of it. You really don't have to. Her grandmother wants to meet you. Can you come to dinner this weekend? Just you, not her. She's not invited until she sorts herself out and figures out who she wants to be." I didn't know what to say. "That's really generous, but No buts. We'd love to have you. Hear more about your work, introduce you to some people in our community who might be able to help with funding or resources. My mother-in-law has lived through what your clients are living through. She wants to support your organization. That would be amazing. Thank you. Good. Saturday at 6. I'll text you the address. She hung up before I could say anything else. I sat there for a long time, thinking about how weird life is sometimes. How you can date someone for a year and a half and not really know them at all. How their family can end up being exactly the kind of people you hoped they were, while they've been hiding from everything those people represent. That Saturday, I drove out to their house. Nice place, not mansion level, but comfortable. Upper middle class, well-maintained, welcoming. Her grandmother answered the door. Tiny woman, barely 5 feet, with these sharp, intelligent eyes and a smile that made you feel immediately at ease. "You're the one helping people like I was helped," she said, taking my hand in both of hers. Come in. I want to hear everything." The dinner was incredible. Not just the food, though that was amazing, but the conversation. Her grandmother told me stories about coming here, the struggles, the people who helped, the determination to build a better life. Her parents asked detailed questions about the nonprofit, took notes, talked about connections they could make. "We have friends who run a foundation," her dad said. "They fund exactly this kind of work. Let me introduce you. And my church has been looking for a community service project," her mom added. "We could organize donation drives, volunteer days, fundraising events." By the end of the night, I had 3 potential major donors lined up, a church partnership in the works, and an invitation to speak at a community event next month. Her grandmother walked me to the door when I left. "My granddaughter is a fool," she said bluntly. I heard what happened. What she said. She's forgotten where she comes from, and that's the worst thing a person can do. I think she's just trying to fit in. Fit in with who? People who would look down on her own grandmother? That's not fitting in, that's selling out. She patted my hand. "You're a good man. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anyone make you ashamed of helping people." I drove home that night, feeling lighter than I had in months. Update 5. My ex tried to reach out multiple times over the next few weeks, sent long apology texts, emails explaining how she'd been doing a lot of thinking, even showed up at my office once. I avoided her mostly, but eventually I let her say her piece. We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. "I've been doing a lot of soul searching," she started, talking to my parents, my grandmother, hearing what they think of me, of how I've been acting. It's been rough. I can imagine. "You were right about everything. I was ashamed of my family's history, not consciously maybe, but deep down. I wanted to be seen as someone who came from money and success, not struggle. And that shame made me cruel to you, to the people you help, to my own family in a way. I appreciate you saying that. I'm working on it. Going to therapy, having tough conversations with my parents and grandmother, trying to understand why I felt the need to distance myself from where I came from. My therapist thinks it's about insecurity, about feeling like I had to constantly prove I belonged in spaces where people had generational wealth. That makes sense. My grandmother told me about her first years here, the poverty, the discrimination, how people would spit on them for speaking another language. She said the worst part wasn't the hardship, it was when her own grandchildren, meaning me and my siblings, acted like they were better than the people she used to be. She started crying, real tears this time, not the manipulative kind from before. I've been a terrible person. To you, to my family, to everyone you help, and I don't know how to fix it. Start by being honest, with yourself, with others. Stop trying to be someone you're not. Your family's story is powerful. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Is there any chance? Do you think we could try again? I'd known this question was coming. Had thought about my answer for days. No. She nodded slowly, like she'd expected it. I figured, but I had to ask. I think you need time to figure out who you are without worrying about what your friends think or how you're perceived. And honestly, I don't think I could trust you again. Not after what you said. I understand. She wiped her eyes. For what it's worth, I hope you find someone who appreciates what you do, who sees it as the gift it is. Thanks. We parted ways there. I haven't heard from her since. Final update. That dinner with her family was 4 months ago now. The connections they made for me have been incredible. The foundation her dad introduced me to has become one of our major funders. Her mom's church has organized 3 donation drives and sends volunteers every month. Her grandmother started a scholarship fund specifically for immigrant students, managed through our organization. I see her family regularly now. They invite me to dinners, community events, holiday celebrations. It's a little weird sometimes staying connected to my ex's family without her there, but they've made it clear they consider me part of their circle regardless of my relationship status with their daughter. Her grandmother set me up on a blind date about 6 weeks ago with her neighbor's granddaughter. Kindergarten teacher, volunteers at a community center on weekends, speaks 3 languages. We've been on 6 dates so far. She came with me to a fundraiser last weekend, spent the whole night talking to the families we help, asking them about their stories, their dreams for their kids. Afterwards, she said, "This is amazing. What you do, what these families represent, it's everything I believe in." And I realized that's what I'd been missing with my ex. Someone who doesn't just tolerate what I do, but actively believes in it. Who sees the value without needing to be convinced or educated or shamed into it. I'm 33, dating someone new, and my nonprofit just had its most successful quarter ever. Her family's connections led to connections with other organizations, which led to a feature in a local magazine, which led to even more donations and volunteers. My ex apparently saw the article. Her mom mentioned she'd called, upset that I was in the news and she wasn't part of it. Her mom told her, "That's what happens when you're ashamed of the people doing important work. You miss out on being part of something meaningful." I don't think about her much anymore. When I do, it's mostly gratitude that I found out who she really was before we got more serious, before we got married or had kids. Better to learn someone's true values after a year and a half than after a decade. Someone asked me recently if I regret the relationship. I don't. It taught me what I won't compromise on. Values aren't negotiable. If someone can't respect the most vulnerable people in society, they won't respect you when you're vulnerable either. And life's too short to spend it with people who are ashamed of compassion.